Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. We're talking today about photographing in the rain, and I'm going to share this video inside of my mentoring group. So if you give me just a second, I don't even know if anybody's gonna hop on today with it being Saturday. I don't know, it's pretty cold outside though, so I would imagine not a lot of people are out doing stuff. So give me just a second here. I'm gonna get set up so I can share this. And then we will talk all about photographing in the rain. And let's see here. And almost got it. Boom. All right. So, I don't know who we have that just jumped on. Oh, there's 4 of you. Okay. All right. So people are hopping on. All right. Yay. Awesome. All right. So, first of all, for those of you that were going to hop on, let's see. Oh my gosh, who do we have? I don't even know. I don't know who you have. So you guys can comment and let me know who's here. That would be awesome because I can't see it. I'm doing something a little bit different today, so I'm using a different program to come live to you guys. So hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, just shoot a little comment into the comment area. So I know that you can hear what I'm saying, so I won't keep talking to myself if you can't hear me. It looks like my microphone's working. Awesome. All right, guys, so today we're going to talk all about photographing in the rain, which I think is a huge, scary thing for a lot of photographers. And honestly, it was a really scary thing for me for a long time. And I'm going to screen share with you here in just a minute because I want you to see some things that I use on wedding day, or honestly, any session. I had an engagement session recently in New York City that couldn't be rescheduled, so we had to shoot in the rain. So there are definitely a few things that I bring with me when it's raining. I am not afraid to shoot in the rain. Our equipment, is probably the biggest concern, but as long as you're prepared and you have the right things to protect your equipment, you're gonna be fine. So actually, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you guys remember, if you're on the East Coast or even in Virginia, you'll remember that it did nothing but rain. Hey, Sally. Thanks for hopping on. It did absolutely nothing but rain. So I had to get really, really comfortable with photographing portraits in the rain, not being afraid, and making sure that I was totally prepared. I've never seen a rainy season like that season. That year I photographed, I would say, probably 25 weddings, maybe a little bit more. And almost every single wedding, it rained. So when that happens, you have to just go with it. And the number one tip I'm gonna give you is when you're dealing with a rainy wedding day, is to make sure that you stay calm, because a lot of times when you are dealing with brides and mothers of brides, or anybody involved in the wedding, it can get really stressful. And I know I have some brides out here that are listening too. Don't stress out on wedding day if it rains. Sometimes it makes for the most beautiful portraits you've ever seen. I'm actually gonna go grab one here in just a second so you can see a rainy day portrait that I actually blew up to make it big because it was just amazing. It actually makes for really great lighting. So rainy day is not something to be concerned about. But the number one thing I do is make sure that I talk to my brides and let them know, hey, it's rain, but it's gonna be totally fine. I've had a lot of brides that actually were super comfortable with just going with it and having their ceremonies in a rainy space. Obviously not crazy downpour, sideways rain, because that wouldn't be comfortable for anybody, but a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of rain, it's their wedding day and they do what they want to do. So that's totally a possibility. I had a couple that they just so badly wanted an outdoor garden ceremony, and everybody had umbrellas and it was beautiful. The photos were gorgeous and they got to have the wedding that they wanted. So there is a fine line between making sure that your guests are comfortable, but also having the day that you envision. So that's definitely something that, on wedding day, if you're really feeling that tug, it's raining and you want to have the outdoor ceremony, talk to your photographer about it, talk to your planner about it, because sometimes it's possible. So number one tip, just breathe. It's going to be fine. My second tip for photographers is that when you know, well, honestly, any wedding day, regardless of whether it's going to rain or not, I bring all my rain stuff anyway, just in case. So if you know it's going to rain, if you don't know it's going to rain, just bring all your gear with you that you need to have. So the number one thing that I make sure that I have, even for any sessions or for wedding day, is bubble umbrellas. I carry at least 10 bubble umbrellas with me to every single wedding. I put them in my car. I actually carry them with me like all the time. I keep them in my car because you just never know when it's gonna rain. Sometimes the forecast says that it's gonna be completely clear. I had a wedding last year. It was a 5% chance of rain, and we had a crazy downpour right in the middle of the ceremony. You just never know. So I make sure that I carry 10 to 12 bubble umbrellas with me. I'm gonna screen share with you because I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about here. I actually bought these, here we go. I bought these from Target. It's these guys right here. Those are the umbrellas. I bought them from Target a few years ago. We had like a crazy rainstorm that was coming in. And I seriously cleared out all of our local Targets and got all of the bubble umbrellas. These photograph beautifully. They're absolutely gorgeous. So I made sure that I had enough to be able to handle, I'm gonna come back to you guys, excuse me, to be able to handle a large bridal party. So the way that I photograph in the rain when I have a large bridal party is I'll give one bubble umbrella to each couple. That way they can be covered. And we just go for it. So I have some pretty large bridal parties at times, so I make sure that I have around 12. Sometimes I need more, not typically, bubble umbrellas for everyone. And I also let my brides know that ahead of time, or my couples know that ahead of time, that I'm gonna make sure that I bring that stuff with me on wedding day. It really does make them feel so much better, because I think that's the number one thing that couples worry about is, what do we do if it rains? What are our portraits gonna look like? Are they gonna be horrible? No, it's gonna be fine. We're still gonna go outside. I make sure that I pack all of my gear for me personally to wear, just in case it rains. I have a rain jacket, rain boots. I learned after having some rainy weddings, I don't want to be walking around in soppy shoes for 10 hours. I make sure that I have those things with me as well. And also there is some rain gear that you can get for your camera. So I'm gonna show you what you can purchase, and then I'm gonna give you a tip on how you can use rain gear that you can get basically for free. So I'm gonna screen share with you again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if you go to Amazon, you can get all different types of rain gear. There's fancy stuff that you can get. Actually, let me go back here. Let me move this so you guys can see. There is so many different types of rain gear that you can get, just the simple rain cover. What I have is more like this here. So you can actually put your hands through. You can see from the back. There's a clear spot in the back where you can see your camera settings. I'll be honest with you though, guys. I think I've used this maybe once or twice. So I mean, it is a great setup to have. It's really, really inexpensive. You can see it's only $10 on Amazon. But actually my preferred thing to use for rain is just a plastic grocery bag that you can get from the store. Now, I will say here in Charleston, we don't really have that opportunity because we don't have the thin, not clear, but the thin plastic bags here. We have Summit. If you're in Charleston, you can probably use the Walmart bags that they have here, but typically most other places where you're not at the beach, you can get just the thin plastic bags, and you just tear a little hole in the front, put the plastic bag over top of your camera. You can tie it to keep it kind of tight, but you have the opening in the back where you can put your hands in. so you can see all of your controls, and it really does keep your camera totally dry. I had to do that recently. I was in New York City for a shoot. I had an engagement session up there at the Brooklyn Bridge. Actually, I just posted on my Instagram a couple days ago, and I blogged it if anybody wants to take a peek. But it rained the entire time for that session, the entire time. And it was one of those sessions where it couldn't be rescheduled. So we just like went for it. And it was great. Like, it was freezing cold and it was raining, but we had a really great time. But the way that I prepared for that was I made sure that I had my umbrellas with me. I had my plastic bag. I had plenty of napkins to be able to wipe off my camera if I needed to. I prepped my clients. I let them know, hey, like, I know that it's going to be raining, but you're still going to have beautiful photos. And yeah, I mean, that was what we had to do. We did take some breaks in between to kind of dry off fluff hair, do those types of things. But honestly, like, rain is not something to be afraid of. Sometimes you do have the sideways rain and the wind. And when that happens, the best thing to do is to try to find, if you want to photograph outside, try to find a space that you can be underneath, to try to block the wind and to block the rain. But me as a photographer, I'm 100% fine with standing in the rain to be able to take photos. So in the past, when I've had to photograph weddings in the rain and it was like raining, actively raining, I will have somebody hold an umbrella for me over me while I'm photographing, and also holding an umbrella for themselves. And that could be an assistant, it could be somebody that's there for the wedding. I've had plenty of people volunteer to be able to help with that. So just make sure that when you're packing those umbrellas for your bridal party and for your couple, that you make sure that you pack an umbrella for yourself too, and maybe an extra for somebody that may have to hold the umbrella for you while you're shooting. It's very, very hard to hold an umbrella and shoot at the same time. And that does help to keep the rain off of your equipment as well. But if you don't have that luxury to be able to do that, then make sure you have the plastic bag or the rain cover for your camera, and then just put on a rain jacket with a hood, some rain boots, and you're good to go. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I don't see any questions. I'm gonna hop into the other groups really quick to make sure that there aren't any other questions, because I'm not seeing anything at all. But I'll be honest with you guys, like, I do not get scared when it rains, because it's really not something, it's not something to be scared of. Like, it can be beautiful, beautiful photos. And actually, I have a photo that I want to show you guys. I'm gonna go grab it because I don't have it up on my screen. I have it printed out, so I want you guys to take a peek. And I have this thing blown up huge because it's one of my favorite photos ever. I'm gonna put it up here. Can you guys see it okay? Oh, yeah, there we go. This is like one of my favorite images ever, and this was taken on a rainy day, on a rainy wedding day. And I'm telling you, like, the lighting's beautiful. It's one of my favorite things to photograph. So just a quick checklist on wedding day for the photographers. When you have a call with your client prior to wedding day, make sure you're telling them ahead of time, hey, if it rains, it's okay. Do not stress. It's going to be totally fine. Number 2, make sure that you bring your gear for you personally for you to be able to photograph in the rain. So rain boots and your rain jacket, and make sure that you bring an umbrella for yourself, and then an umbrella for possibly an assistant or somebody that needs to hold one for themselves if they're holding an umbrella for you. Also make sure that you are bringing bubble umbrellas, something pretty that will photograph really well. You don't want to have an umbrella that has a color to it, because it's gonna cast that color onto your subject. So clear umbrellas are the only thing that I photograph with. So like I said, I tend to have some large bridal parties, so I make sure that I have 10 to 12 with me at all times. And then make sure that I would definitely bring towels to be able to wipe off your equipment. And make sure that you either have the plastic bags to put over your camera, or purchase that camera gear off of Amazon to be able to have on your equipment as well. But honestly, a plastic bag I feel like is easier to use. It's free from the store. and then you just toss it when you're done. Oh, Sally, you said you currently have 3 bubble umbrellas. Definitely pick up a few more. Yes, all the bridal party with umbrellas, it makes for beautiful, beautiful photos. So yeah, don't be afraid of the rain, guys. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And for any brides out there that may be watching, just breathe on wedding day. Even if it rains, it's gonna be gorgeous. Still gonna have beautiful, beautiful pictures. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. And as always, if you ever have questions, you can shoot me a direct message. You can always comment on these videos because I still check comments if you have other questions. And have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.